And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, Gangbusters.
Has home permanent wave to disguise appearance.
More to follow on Gangbusters Clues.
Gangbusters, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories, has asked Thomas J. McGrath, retired lieutenant, Chicago Police Department, to narrate by proxy tonight's case. Lieutenant McGrath.
The man who lived through tonight's case, Gangbusters listeners, was second-grade detective Donald Ballard. He was neither more brave nor more intelligent than a score of other young men who could have been chosen for the assignment he accepted. One thing only prompted his selection: the fact that he had been born and raised on the West Coast. As far as Detective Ballard was concerned, the beginnings of what for him were to be 5 days of violence occurred 1,000 feet above Kansas City.
Your attention, please. This is the captain speaking. We're letting down at Kansas City. It will not be a serious delay, but we must ask you to leave the ship for about 15 minutes while a check is made on the air conditioning.
There was nothing wrong with the air conditioning, Gangbusters listeners. The airline was cooperating with an urgent request made by the police department of the city of Chicago, with the cooperation of the Kansas City police. What brought about the unscheduled landing was a passenger of about 30, tall, very well dressed, very dangerous. His name was Frank Lustin. As the plane set down and taxied in, 3 men waited at a window overlooking the field of the Kansas City terminal. Captain Peter Steele and Detective Ballard of the Chicago Police, and Captain Norman Marcus of the Kansas City Force.
Well, that's our plane, Captain Steele. The pilot's coming in.
Yes. Ballard?
Yes, Captain.
We'll have a few minutes to talk after Captain Marcus makes the pinch.
All right, sir.
Now, you better keep out of sight and watch Lustin. Watch him for any particular mannerisms. You may have to copy them.
All right, sir.
Captain Steele?
Yes, right here.
I'm Captain Charles, the pilot. I was instructed to see you as soon as I brought the ship in.
Well, this is Captain Marcus of the Kansas City Police and Detective Ballard of the Chicago Force. Our man aboard, Captain?
I checked the manifest when the radio message came. Frank Lustin, tall man.
Well, can you point him out to us?
Yes, sir. He should be in the terminal by now.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's Lustin over there, Captain. At the newsstand.
3 magazines, 70 cents, and the gum.
Hello, Lustin. Now, just a minute, I'm talking to you.
Me?
That's right. Just move on over to here. We're police officers. Give him a good frisk, Marcus.
What's the beef?
Oh, just want to ask you a couple of questions, Frankie.
Okay. What's the beef?
You find anything on him?
Loaded 38. Got a permit for this, Frankie? Left at home, copper, along with my hunting license. We don't like mugs carrying guns around our city. Look, I'm just flying out of here. I say that. We got plenty of judges you can talk to. I'll do my talking to a mouthpiece. Come on, Lustin.
Well, Ballard, you didn't get much of a look at Lustin, did you?
Well, enough, I think. I'm about his height. Nothing very unusual about his appearance.
He was chewing gum.
Yes, the report that Lieutenant Collins gave me says Lustin doesn't smoke.
Do you?
Yes, sir, I do, but I've given it up.
Let me see your hands. Nicotine stain between the index and the middle finger. Well, the manicurist can get that off.
Yeah, I guess so, sir.
Now, we have a few minutes before your plane loads again. Did Lieutenant Collins tell you much about this assignment, Ballard?
No, sir. He met me at the airport in Chicago. He just about had time enough to give me the reports on Lustin and tell me to meet you here.
Uh-huh. Did he say this could be dangerous?
Yes, sir.
Well, he was right. Frankie Lustin is a hired killer. Yesterday, we got a tip from the San Francisco police that he was flying to Chicago to do some work.
I see.
Now, you've heard of little Dave Yarby.
Not recently, Captain.
Well, we have. Plenty. Yarby's had more arrests and fewer convictions than any criminal in Chicago. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, he went straight. Straight. What he did was set up an outfit called Falcon Enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
All very legit. Except it isn't.
Well, what is it, Captain?
A front. Now, we're almost certain that little Dave Yarby's a banker for the biggest numbers and policy racket in the Midwest.
I see.
But we can't connect him. We put people into Falcon Enterprises, and he spots them immediately.
What does he do?
Nothing nasty, because none of our people ever got anything on him. Just fires them.
And Frankie Luston ties into this Falcon Enterprises.
The job Luston's coming back to do is for little Davy Yarby. Now, little Dave wouldn't be importing a killer except for the dirty side of his business.
So I go in as Frankie Luston.
That's right. You go in as Frankie. Now, you get in, you get some idea of how little Dave connects with the numbers. And then get out. Let him worry about where you went. And we'll take it from there.
Later that same day, high in a building overlooking Chicago's busy loop, David Yarby, president of Falcon Enterprises, talked with an associate who was not listed as an officer of the company. In the files of Chicago's Bureau of Criminal Identification, he was known as Edward Palmas. To his friends, he was Eddie the Knife.
I'm not in no position to get picked up by the homicide boys, Mr. Yarby. It's got so someone gets the business in Racine, Wisconsin, they come knocking on my door.
I suggest it can be arranged so there'll be no danger of them knocking on your door, as you put it.
Yeah, well, you're the boss. What kind of a fee?
You'll get yours, Eddie, you always have.
Yeah, Mr. Yarby. You take good care of your people.
All of them, Eddie. Oh, fine. Yes, Miss Cal. Oh, what? Oh, just a moment. Frankie Luston out in front.
What's he using that dog for, Mr. Yarby?
I don't know. Miss Carroll, you can send Mr. Luston in.
This Frankie's a good man with a gun.
The best. Doesn't worry you, does it, Eddie?
Oh, Mr. Yarby, you know me better than that. Good man with a gun don't worry me. It's just the fellas down at homicide.
Mr. Yarby, I'm Frankie Luston.
Come on in, Frankie. Glad to see you.
Sorry I'm late. The plane set down in Kansas City for an equipment check.
Hi, Frankie. This is Eddie Palmer.
Glad to make your acquaintance, Frankie.
How are you? Well, Mr. Yarby, you got quite a business going out there.
That'll do. Sit down, Frankie.
Thanks.
Cigarette?
No, thanks. I don't use them.
They won't mind if I do. Frankie, I don't know how you handle it with Dalbo out on the coast. Back here, I'm the boss.
Sure.
My instructions were that when you got here, you were to use the private entrance. Why didn't you?
Mr. Yarby, I got a plane ticket back to San Francisco. If you want me to use it...
Maybe Frankie forgot. Oh, Mr. Yarby?
No, I didn't forget. I got a question for you, Mr. Yarby. What's the money in this job?
Dalbo told you that.
Yeah, but people have a way of changing their minds from day to day. I want to hear it from you.
1,500.
How much in advance?
You get the whole thing when you pull off the job.
Mm-hmm. And what about expenses?
Eddie will take care of those.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll take care of that, Frankie.
Well, what's Eddie got to do with it?
Eddie will give you the job, take the expenses, and pay you off.
Then why doesn't Eddie just go ahead and do it?
Well, Frankie, look, you gotta have a finger.
You just tell me the name of the bum and where I can find him. I'll be my own finger.
Luston, you take Eddie.
I will get in your way, Frankie. Gotta get you a place to stay. Getting this bum right's gonna be tricky.
Well?
Okay, Mr. Yarby, I'll take Eddie.
Attaboy, Frankie. Well, Mr. Yarby, I'll take him on down the south side and get set up. We'll be in touch, huh?
No slip-ups. Private door's right over there. This button works it electrically.
It's a pretty good way of keeping two sides of the business separated, Mr. Yarby. Where's this lead?
So far as you're concerned, this door leads to the storage room, the carbon supply company in the next building. It's the way you will always enter and leave this office.
Sure.
We'll wait for Eddie in the storeroom.
Sure.
Eddie, come here. Can you handle him?
Oh, sure, Mr. Yarby. You know me.
Yeah, he's a real wise guy. No wonder Dalbo wants him crossed off.
Shortly after Eddie the Knife followed Detective Robert Ballard posing as killer Frankie Luston through the private exit from little Dave Yarby's office, Captain Steele returned to his own office at Chicago Police Headquarters. His staff lieutenant, Roger Collins, was seated at the captain's desk, telephone to his ear.
Hello, Roger. Captain, telegraph room just called TWX from San Francisco asking us to hold up on the Frank Lustin switch and call Jorgensen out there.
Hold up? Well, this is a fine time to tell us to hold up. Any idea why?
Well, the message just said it was urgent, Captain.
Well, then get through to him.
Operator, this is a police call. I want Captain Adolph Jorgensen, San Francisco Police. Captain Steele, Chicago Police, ready on the phone.
But by this time, Gangbusters listeners, Detective Robert Ballard had moved far beyond the possibility of any recall in his job. As Frankie Lustin, he was entering a flat in a building far to the south of police headquarters.
Not bad, huh, Frankie?
Not if we're not here more than a couple of days, Eddie.
Well, what's wrong, Frankie? Nice flat, beer in the icebox, real convenient to your work.
Okay. But I thought I was going to see something in Chicago. Here we're stuck out in nowhere.
Oh, you'll see plenty of Chicago once you do the job. Come on, settle down and pack your bags. Say something. Tell me about the coast, huh?
Sure.
Yeah. Beer, Frankie?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Now, he's looking at you.
Looking at you. I always kind of wanted to move to the coast. Rough winters here, man.
Well, it gets foggy out there, but it's kind of nice.
You know, Frankie, when I finish this job, I may just do that. Go right out to the coast.
When you finish the job, Eddie?
Well, no offense, Frankie. Helping you, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good gunner, I hear.
What is the job, Eddie?
Well, I'll have to point him out for you. It shouldn't be too hard because he moves around in this territory.
What's that?
That? Oh, steel mills not far from here. You know, the ore boats come right into the docks.
Oh.
Pledging money?
Yeah, some.
Well, no. I just happen to have a deck along, Frankie. Feeling I'm going to pay you $1,500, thought I might gnaw into it a little hunk. Nickel a point?
Nickel a point.
And so, Gangbusters listeners, these were the circumstances when Captain Steele's office got through to San Francisco.
Yes, this is Collins. Yes. Hello, Jorgensen. We've been having trouble getting through. The captain is here. What? Just a minute.
What is it, Roger?
Frankie Lustin was sent up here to be killed. Dalbo wanted it done out of his territory. Little Dave Yarby is obliged.
Well, how do they know?
San Francisco picked up another squeal. Lustin had been getting too tough for Dalbo. Yarby owed Dalbo a favor. For a fee, Yarby's having Lustin taken care of.
That means our man, Bob Ballard.
Yes, sir.
Hang up that phone.
Okay, San Francisco. We understand. We'll get on it. Thanks. What now?
Get a department picture of Detective Ballard. Put it in every squad, every cruiser, and have it shown to every patrolman. And if they see him, they're to stop him, get him out. Now put a 24-hour watch on little Dave Yarby's office and home. If Ballard shows, grab him.
Yes.
No, use an outside phone, Roger. I'll be using this one. Oh, Roger.
Yes, Captain.
Alert the morgue and emergency wards. We're to be notified on any unidentified dead on arrivals.
Back to Gangbusters in a moment. Cancer can be cured if treated early enough. Cancer can be treated early enough if people know cancer's 7 danger signs. You can get the information at your local chapter of the American Cancer Society. Look for the little red door in your phone book. And remember, April is the month to send your donations to Cancer, care of your post office. That's Cancer, care of your post office. Support the research aimed at wiping out killer cancer for all time. And now back to Gangbusters and Lieutenant Thomas J. McGrath.
For 24 hours, the Chicago police learned nothing about the whereabouts of Detective Donald Ballard. Detective Ballard also learned nothing, except that Eddie the Knife was a good gin player.
You don't keep your mind on the game, Frankie. You were trying to catch a 3rd 4 and it was played already. Well, I bet you got good card sense, Frankie, the way you bluffed me into breaking up those 10.
It isn't the rummy, Eddie.
What is it?
The way this is set up. Some night you were going to walk me down along the lakefront, show me a special person I